Welcome to the Supreme Court Podcast.
All opinions expressed in this podcast do not reflect the views of the Supreme Court. For clarity, the text of the decision prevails.
I was supposed to take the bar exams in 2020, but as everyone knows, the COVID-19 pandemic broke out that year. So apart from the usual challenges of preparing for one of the most difficult exams in the country, I also had to grapple with the uncertainties of taking the exam during the pandemic and the concomitant risks to health and safety, not just for me and for my family. So it was actually a period of 2 years of bar review filled with anxiety and trepidation. But more than the exam itself, I remember the required COVID-19 test to be my make it or break it moment. Because once an examinee tests positive for COVID-19 during our time, they are automatically disqualified from taking the exams. To be honest, I found it more frightening and disheartening to be deprived of my chance to be a lawyer for another year because of circumstances I could not have controlled than failing the exam after being given the chance to take it and to do my best. Fortunately for me, I tested negative and I was able to pass the exam. Although my circumstances were unique, I guess the bottom line stays the same. And if I could be given the chance to give the examinees of the 2025 bar a message, it's that take this chance. Do not be discouraged. To have tried is still infinitely better than not trying at all. Because if you try, you give yourself a chance to succeed. And although you might be unbearably nervous right now, choose to be brave. Choose to take the leap, to give yourself the chance, and then give it your best shot. And remember that the bar exams is not unreasonable. It's not unpassable. It's just another exam like the many others you already took. The difference is, this is one that you have been preparing for at least for the past 4 years. So trust that you are more than ready and you will succeed.
For me, my struggles during my bar was that I was extremely anxious to the point that it was paralyzing. Like weeks prior the first bar day, everything that I was studying, nothing was being absorbed. But then I realized that I was too fixated on the things that I couldn't control. So I started focusing on the things that I can control. So I started studying the basics again and focusing on the doctrines, the canons, and the fundamental principles. Because I knew that when I will be faced with a question that I didn't know exactly what the answer was, I can always fall back on those fundamental principles as an answer. I also started focusing on my health because I knew that if I wasn't healthy during the bar days, I wouldn't be able to answer well. So I started eating right, started exercising, and I made sure that I got a ton of sleep. Interestingly, the things that I did during this bar, I carried over until I became a lawyer. And these are the things that I do right now. So focus on the things that you can control and everything will turn out well.
I have taken the bar multiple times. So every time I take the bar again, number one challenge yung financial constraint kasi syempre magastos po yung pagbabar. Nahiya na ako sa parents ko, so eventually I started working and then supported myself para makapag-take ulit. So bukod po doon, syempre dahil nga multiple times nagte-take ng bar, may mental and psychological challenge siya sa akin kasi parang every time I fail, I start to doubt myself, questioning my ability, alam ko ba talaga tong ginagawa ko, para sa akin ba talaga to, mga ganun yung questions na syempre ako lang din yung makakasagot. So parang for me, sobrang hirap nung dinadoubt mo yung sarili mo eh. So dahil doon, maapektuhan talaga yung pagsagot mo sa bar. Bukod po doon, yung na dahil sa multiple takes nga ako, na sacrifice ko yung time with family and friends. Kasi every time na ipaprepare mo yung sarili mo for another exam, hindi ka masyadong lumalabas, aral ka lang ng aral. So, isa yun sa mga naging challenge sa akin. So, yung pagmamanage ko noong time, doon po ako nahirapan. So, ang masasabi ko po doon sa mga kagaya ko na magta-take ulit ng bar this year, sobrang nakatulong po sa akin yung positive thinking. So, yung pagda-doubt po sa sarili, wag nyo pong pagdadaan yung sarili nyo. Natapos nyo po yung degree, alam nyo yung inaral nyo, wag lang kayong matakot na maniwala sa sarili nyo na you can pass it. So, surround yourself with positive people and magdasal po tayo, matulog tayong maaga, saka kumain ng tama. Yun po.
You've just heard Attorney Cristel Shane Sigua, Attorney Joshua Gawi Satitio, and Attorney Ia Bolos share their experiences in taking the bar examinations. Attorney Sigua and Atitio passed the 2022 bar examinations, while Attorney Bolos passed the 2024 bar exams. 3 different lawyers, 3 different experiences. Their stories echo the very same struggles endured by bar examinees, which will also be faced by would-be bar examinees. Today, they share a common bond as staff members of Supreme Court Associate Justice Ami C. Lazaro-Javier. Justice Lazaro-Javier had her own share of struggles. Like her lawyer staff members, she emerged victorious and overcame the hurdle of the bar examinations. Look where she is now, the 182nd Associate Justice of the Supreme Court and Chairperson of the 2025 bar examinations. From her experiences as a bar examinee to her perspective now as Chairperson of the 2025 bar examinations, join us as we explore the inspiring journey of Justice Lazaro-Javier. What has changed? What has remained constant? And what lessons can guide and encourage those taking the bar examinations today? Hi, I'm Attorney Mike Navalio, Supreme Court Chief Communications Officer. It's the 12th of September 2025, and today we talk to Supreme Court Associate Justice Ami C. Lazaro-Javier, Chairperson of the 2025 bar examinations, about her journey and perspectives about the bar exams, arguably the hardest professional licensure examinations in the country. Hi, Justice Ami. Welcome to the Supreme Court podcast.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
And Justice Ami, thank you for having us in your chamber, this beautiful chamber inside the Supreme Court.
Thank you, Mike.
First off, Justice, do you agree that the bar exams is the hardest professional licensure exam in the country?
Yes, I agree. The bar exams is truly one of the hardest professional licensure exams. I wouldn't say the hardest, just one of the hardest.
All right, we have to be humble about it. All right, so it's been 4 decades. Correct me if I'm wrong, Justice. You took the bar exams in 1982.
Correct.
Right? So how did you prepare for the exams? Did you review on your own? Did you join a group? Or did you take review classes? What were your study habits?
Yes, I studied on my own. At the same time, attended review classes. I tried to stay as organized as I could by keeping a schedule of my readings, my progress, as well as my rest days.
Mm-hmm. And for those curious, Justice, were you living on your own or were you living with your family?
Well, I was living with a friend. Yes, one of my best friends in law school.
Mm-hmm. And did it help that you had someone to struggle with as
Yes,
you prepare?
it's always a reassuring thought that somebody else was taking the journey with you.
And at that time, Justice, where did you take the bar exams?
At the MLQ, yes, MLQ or MLQU University. It's Manuel Luis Quezon University. It used to be in Quiapo, Manila, but now it's in it's on EDSA, along EDSA. Yes.
And during that time, Justice, walk us through the challenges that you encountered when you were preparing for the bar exams. What was your day like?
Yes, I would say I faced 3 major challenges. The first was financial, as I had to take a leave of absence from teaching. Second, there were times when I was lagging behind in my schedule. Finally, I had to confront my anxiety from time to time.
I know a lot of bar examinees could probably relate about being anxious and lagging behind their schedules, but I'm curious about the first thing that you mentioned, Justice. You were a working student at the time that you were taking law school?
Yes, I was. Even before I took up law, I was already a working student. I took a 1 year break from school after I graduated from the PNU, where I completed my BS education. Then I started teaching right away. So I took off for 1 year from school. And when I resumed school, I was still teaching until I became a lawyer. And it was my last employment as a teacher in Manila Science before I transitioned to becoming a lawyer in the Office of the Solicitor General.
And Justice, not many of us actually know. I mean, I was surprised that you were actually a working student.
Yes.
So talk to us about it. How did your day go like when you were taking your legal studies?
Yes, it was a day-to-day struggle, day in, day out. I have to be awake by 5 a.m. and I should be already attending the flag ceremony by 6:45 in the morning every single day. Kaya lagi akong present sa flag ceremony.
We can
Force of
attest to that.
habit. And then my class begins around 7 o'clock and ends around 3 in the afternoon. So I just cross the street going to my school in UST. So my window for studying for my class in the evening was from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the evening, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. And then I am off by 9 o'clock. So I go home, eat my dinner, and start studying again, but this time for my class in high school. As a classroom teacher, I have to prepare my lesson plan. So that's my day-to-day existence.
Wow. And sounds like a lot of studying on two different topics because you teach high school, right?
High
Justice?
school, yes, high school. I used to teach history, community life, and economics.
Did that in any way help you survive law school?
Of
Because at
course.
least you didn't have to focus on the books, right?
Yes,
or
yes.
the cases. You have
I
something else to study.
It's really one that shaped me into what I am now. I have to be strong. I have to focus. I have to manage my time. I have to be persevering as well, driven, and never say die. Never ever say die. And always grateful that every day I survive. And I could really be proud of how I taught my students. I think that I also did my best as a teacher. And I am also proud to say that I did not neglect my studies either.
But proof is that you're now in the Supreme Court.
Yes, thank you. I'm so grateful.
And Justice, was that added motivation for you? The fact that you had to stop working, preparing for the bar exams, was that added motivation that there's no way I will fail this, I will have to pass the bar
Yes, I
exams?
have to pass because we're not rich. Proof is I had to be a working student. Not because I just wanted to support myself, but I was also supporting my family at the same time. So I have no choice but to succeed. It's my choice, and by God's grace, that choice became God's choice too.
And did you start feeling the pressure about the bar exams when it was getting closer?
Yes, I think the closer it gets, the more pressure mounts.
What was going through your mind as you were preparing? Or did you ever think that, I don't think I'll take the bar exams this year?
No, never.
Not at all.
Never. my mindset was it's now or never.
And walk us through your bar exams experience, Justice. Because at that time, there were 4 Sundays, right?
Yes.
Unlike now that you have the first Sunday, Wednesday, and the second Sunday. Before, it was actually a full month. And you have 4 Sundays, right? What challenges did you experience when you were taking the bar exams?
Well, there were subjects where the questions were quite lengthy and numerous. Okay, I can tell you
recall?
now that subject.
Which subject?
That's commercial law. We were asked 48 questions.
48 questions.
Yes,
Oh.
but only for around 4 or 3 hours. So we had to extend for around 15 minutes only.
Oh. In
But-
contrast, how many questions do you have now for commercial law?
Only 20
Only
and no
20.
sub-questions. And we agreed in principle since the best bar ever that we would stick to
Basic
as
questions?
much as possible basics. Okay, fundamental principles, doctrines.
So, how did you do in commercial law? What was your grade, Justice?
I got 88.
Oh, wow. That's high, ah. That's
You
high
know,
for bar exams.
there were 48 questions, but I was able to answer all the
Everything.
questions.
Wow.
Yes. So I only committed 12 mistakes perhaps out of 100.
So maybe 6 mistakes if
Yes.
it's worth 2 points each. Were there any anecdotes during the time when you were taking the bar exams, Justice? I mean,
Yes, I was able to, I think I fell asleep during the labor law exam in
This
the
was on the first-
afternoon
first
during
Sunday.
Yes.
All right.
So I would like to advise everyone to always get a good night's sleep. Not only before the bar, the eve of the bar, but every single night. You have to get enough amount of sleep.
you weren't able to sleep
Yes,
on
not
the eve.
because I was busy studying, putting in last minute doctrines or principles, but because I was anxious. I could not settle myself. And so in the morning, maybe it was already, how do you call that?
Adrenaline rush.
Yes, adrenaline rush. And then it just waned in the afternoon.
Yes.
And my weak physical body really needed sleep.
Sleep.
So I
How did
tried
you
to get
survive?
it in the afternoon. I survived because an angel woke me up.
How was that, Angel Justice?
The proctor.
Sinabihan ba kayo bawal matulog dito?
Hindi naawa siguro siya sa akin. But I felt myself still writing. But my thoughts were lingering. I thought there was that portion in my exams in labor that did not make sense at all. Oo.
What grade did you get for labor?
Sa labor siguro nakaano ko 83.
Oh, mataas pa rin yung
Imagine
83.
kung
That's still
naano ko,
high.
baka nag-100 ako.
Baka nag-top na kayo ng bar exams. Alright, but that's really funny. So it's really important to get some sleep
Oo.
or maybe bring a bar of chocolate.
There's
to
no
keep you
substitute for that. Oo. Okay yung bar of chocolate plus actual sleep. Kailangan matulog tayo. Oo.
Alright.
Manghihina talaga yung katawan natin. Yung adrenaline kasi, it can only last for a while. But it can't last forever or
Yes.
longer than it's supposed to last.
Right.
When you think you still have it, it's actually toxins already working its way.
So when the bar exams was finally done, how did you feel about it?
Wow, so relieved. So relieved. And my only dream at that time was get enough sleep. Get enough sleep. And never again to read my law books.
I think many can relate to that. So, can you take us to that moment, Justice, when you finally learned that you passed the 1982 bar exams? Where were you at that time?
Yes. I was at home and another angel came, no, not came, called me on the phone and announced that I passed the bar. Of course, it was one of the most ecstatic moments of my life. And I was very grateful and thankful to God. The first persons I called were my mom, who was a widow, and my aunt, who helped raise me and my 5 siblings. And the reason why I took up law.
Your aunt?
My aunt.
Why? What was the reason, Justice?
My aunt was a frustrated lawyer.
All right.
Okay, so when I was already a teacher during my first year, she asked me if I could take up law. At first, it was just a request. And it was a question. But I told her I want to be the best teacher I could be. So I have plans already to further my studies, take up masters, and then be a doctor of philosophy or doctor of education. But she repeated her request. You know, I have this virtue of being obedient. So when my mother or my aunt would ask me to do something for them, I was free to decline if I thought it was not for me. But if they repeated the request, I could no longer say no.
So that's how you became a lawyer.
Yes, that is by being an obedient child.
So it wasn't your childhood dream to become a lawyer?
No, not at all. I wanted to be a nun.
Oh, why? Why did you want to become a nun?
Early on, I just got amazed with the Bible stories. And early on, I didn't know why. I was always drawn to the church and to the religious. At an early age, I was only 5. I was going to Mass every day, 4:30 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And looking back, I was the only child at the time. Maybe those manangs were wondering what
What is
a
this child
little
doing?
child was doing here in our midst. But that was, and I could easily, relate to prayers. I could master all of them, even the 10 commandments.
Oh, wow.
So maybe it's God's way of really reaching out to me. But over the years, because of less exposure to the religious, but I continued to go to Mass, to pray the novena and all. But I changed my mind and I just wanted to become a teacher.
When you finally decided to become a lawyer, did it ever cross your mind, Justice, that you would become eventually the 182nd Associate Justice of the Supreme
Never.
Court? Not at all.
Not at all. I just wanted to practice law and see myself in the courtroom defending the rights of the oppressed. That was my only dream.
And when you finally joined the court, of course, one of the responsibilities of an associate justice is to take charge of some of the initiatives of the court. And finally, you became the bar chairperson.
Yes.
Did you also thought of it, or have you thought of it when you were, perhaps taking the bar exams or practicing?
Also never. But I always admired from a distance, those bar chairs and the bar examiners. So when I became a bar examiner myself, I think that was one of the greatest achievements of my life. Yes.
And of course, many are curious, how has the bar exams evolved from 1982, when you took the bar exams, to now? 2025 bar
Of
exams?
course, it used to be just one national testing center for everyone. But now we have 14 testing centers
All over the country.
all over the country. And then digitized na tayo ngayon or digitalized. Before, handwritten. Handwritten. Imagine the struggle of those were not gifted with good
penmanship.
Yes, good penmanship. And also the struggle of the examiners who could not readily read the answers because they were not legibly written.
Right. And you did mention a while ago, Justice, that you have a set number of questions. There are no succeeding questions in a particular topic. So
Yes.
what more can you tell us about the questions for the 2025 bar exams?
For the 2025 bar exams, number one question.
Okay.
Okay? And the question is focus. And then no sub-questions. When I say 20, it's only 20. Hindi na yun manganganap. Okay? And only the canonical doctrines, the legal provisions, and I will also ask from my own cases.
What do you think are the common mistakes that examinees make, and how can they avoid these mistakes?
Yes, being overly anxious. Nervousness is not a desirable thing when it comes to bar exams. I think too much reading also and giving lengthy answers is a mistake. Bar examinees should also be careful when reading the questions. They must learn to spot the correct issue and avoid over-analyzing an otherwise simple question. These are also fatal mistakes.
And how important, Justice, is the bar exams in shaping future lawyers?
Yes. The bar exams test one's grit, perseverance, drive, discipline, and faith. These are much needed in the practice of the legal profession.
And if you could give your younger self a piece of advice or a message, what would it be?
For me to get enough sleep every day, maybe I would have grown taller if I did.
During bar exams or during law school?
Every day.
How much sleep did you get when you were studying or perhaps when you were preparing for the bar exams?
Alam mo, siguro 3 hours
3 hours
lang. Kaya hindi ako lumaki eh.
What time do you wake up, Justice? I mean, what's a typical day for you?
Yes, typical day for me was I wake up, kasi nga, I was a school teacher for 7 years.
Oh.
So, mga 4:30 or 5 o'clock gising na ako. 5:30, I think mga 5:30, I was already leaving the house. Okay, before 6:30, nasa school na ako to await the flag ceremony by 6:45. 7 o'clock, start teaching. Start my role as a classroom teacher.
And you retain this schedule even during bar review?
Yes, yes.
So,
Ang hirap i-break. Oo,
so even up to now?
Oo, excited ako pag nag-retire na ako, makatulog na ako ng more than 3 or 4 hours.
And Justice, what advice can you share to help examinees face the bar with confidence? They're down to their final examination day on Sunday.
For my babies, to keep calm, pray, read the questions carefully, don't look for any catch. There will be none in any of the questions, in any of the subjects. As much as practicable, follow the suggested format in answering the questions. Be happy when you are taking the bar examinations.
And finally, Justice, to close our discussion, so in today's world, why is it still important to be a lawyer? How does the profession remain relevant? And in what ways does it continue to uphold and serve the rule of law?
The world has troubles, it has problems, to which the law, more often than not, is the only solution. We need lawyers to help us resolve these problems within the parameters of the law, especially those who are oppressed, who are underserved, who have the least in life. Lawyers are the people we trust so that the rule of law will always prevail and people will not take the law into their own hands.
All right. Thank you very much, Justice. I'm sure
Thank you,
many bar
Mike.
examinees who are taking the bar this year will be inspired by your message.
Yes.
And hopefully that will spur
Thank
them
you
on to
very
become
much.
good lawyers.
Thank you for this opportunity, Mike.
All right. And you've just heard Justice Ami Lazaro C. Javier. And if you wish to read about Justice Ami Lazaro-Javier, please visit the Supreme Court website. Here's Steph Atendido Beltran, Supreme Court Information Officer, for this week's updates.
From the Supreme Court of the Philippines, here's the latest. The 2025 bar examinations officially kicked off Sunday, September 7 and Wednesday, September 10, 2025 at 14 local testing centers across the country. On day 1, a total of 11,437 candidates took the test, marking the highest first-day turnout in bar history. 2025 bar examinations chairperson, Associate Justice Ami Lazaro-Javier, made the announcement at the University of Santo Tomas, the 2025 bar's national headquarters. Justice Javier also shared words of encouragement to the examinees, offering prayers for them and encouraging them to continue aiming for excellence and finishing strong. On day 2, Justice Javier, Chief Justice Alexander Mundo, Senior Associate Justice Marvic Leonen, and other Associate Justices of the Supreme Court visited different testing centers across the country. The last day of the bar is on Sunday, September 14. In a recent decision, the SC has ruled that a public institution must vacate the land it occupies if it lacks permission from the rightful owner and the owner has a better right of possession. In a penencia by Senior Associate Justice Marvic Leonen, the SC 2nd Division ordered the Department of Education or DepEd to vacate and return a parcel of land to its owner, Princess Joama Marcosa Caleda, whom the SC found to have proven her better right to the property. Her land title was valid and accurately described the land, unlike the school's deed of sale, which referred to an adjacent lot. The SC emphasized that while the government can take private property for public use through its power of eminent domain, this must be done through proper legal proceedings and with payment of just compensation. Because no expropriation process was initiated in this case, the school could not retain the land simply by offering to pay for it. In another case, the SC has clarified that disputes involving condominium contracts should be decided by the Human Settlements Adjudication Commission, formerly known as the Housing and Land Use Regulatory Board, and not by the Regional Trial Court or RTC. The SC's 3rd Division, through the penencia of Associate Justice Henry John Paul Inting, nullified the RTC's ruling that held Vivian M. Kadungog and Sung Ha Jung civilly liable to each other over a contract to sell involving a condominium unit. The SC explained that while civil liability can be decided in a criminal case, this does not apply when the liability arises from a contract, such as the civil dispute between Kadungog and Sung, which stemmed from their contract to sell. On Tuesday, September 9, Chief Justice Alexander Mundo paid tribute to Metrobank Foundation Inc.'s or MBFI's 2025 Outstanding Filipinos, who are exemplars in public service. 4 educators, 3 police officers, and 3 soldiers whose commitment to service reflects the highest ideals of integrity, service, and excellence were given recognition. Chief Justice Mundo congratulated this year's awardees and emphasized that their work and lives demonstrate that nation-building happens not in grand gestures, but in daily acts of dedication, compassion, and quiet, unrelenting resolve. Joining him were Justices Rodil Zalameda, Jose Midas Marquez, and Maria Filomena Singh. The conferment ceremony for this year's awards was held on September 5, 2025. Justice Alfreda Benjamin Kagiwa chaired the final board of judges. The MBFI is the Metrobank Group's corporate social responsibility arm. On Thursday, September 11, the Judicial and Bar Council and the Integrated Bar of the Philippines signed a memorandum of agreement renewing their partnership towards upholding integrity and excellence in the JBC's recruitment, selection, and nomination processes at the SC Session Hall. The partnership aims to ensure that only the most competent and morally upright candidates are recommended for the positions in the judiciary, Office of the Ombudsman, Deputy Ombudsman and Special Prosecutor, and the Legal Education Board. Honorable Erlinda Piñera Uy, JBC regular member representing the Integrated Bar of the Philippines, signed on behalf of the JBC, while IBP National President Attorney Alan G. Panolong signed on IBP's behalf. Chief Justice Alexander Esmundo and JBC members Congresswoman Gerbel Luistro, former SC Associate Justice Jose Mendoza, and Professor Nisaura Ferme served as witnesses. The Judicial and Bar Council, or JBC, on Thursday announced the schedule of public interviews for the position of Court of Tax Appeals Presiding Justice to replace Honorable Roman del Rosario, who will mandatorily retire on October 6, 2025. 8 candidates will be interviewed on September 22 and 23, 2025. The public may submit their complaint, report, or opposition until September 22, 2025. Finally, also on Thursday, Chief Justice Alexander Esmundo administered the oath of office to officers of the Philippine Muslim Judges Association, or PMJA, at the Supreme Court in Manila. Headed by their president, Court of Appeals Associate Justice Edil Wasif Badiri, the officers are the first regular elected officers since the establishment of the PMJA in July 2024. The PMJA endeavors to establish a platform for facilitating collaboration among judges of the Sharia and regular courts in the Philippines, with emphasis on Muslim concerns and Sharia law within the national legal framework. You are now up to date with the Philippine Supreme Court. I am Tiffany Dobotran, Supreme Court Information Officer.
And that's our podcast this week. Join us again next time for a detailed discussion of select cases decided by the Supreme Court. I'm Attorney Mike Navalio, your Supreme Court Chief Communications Officer. You can catch this podcast on the Supreme Court Public Information Office's accounts on X, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, YouTube, and Spotify. You can also catch previous editions on our website and on Spotify. This podcast episode was produced by the Supreme Court Public Information Office with Attorney Karen Martinez, Jay Rempilio, and May Sibal as researchers, Brian Ostrea, Don Ryan Balza, Victor Laranio, Lawrence Olanio, Austin Aliscad, and Bea Batung as audio and video editors, and Taik Flores and Jerome Batumalake as web editors.